All right, so here's my scenario. Jason had said if it is before 10 p.m. and it is busy at work, or we are short-staffed, or the kitchen is dragging, the night will take forever. So, essentially, if it's before 10 p.m. and any of those things are true, the night will take forever. I don't like using infinite statements in programming, even in processing or whatever. So, I'll just say the night's it's gonna be like a long night or something like that. So if it is after 10 p.m., apparently none of these apply, and the night is almost over. So let's take a look at the sketch. First, I stole the scroll bar from the GUI scroll bar example, and then threw a picture on there, just like a little needle. So it is after 10 p.m., and as I'm moving the scroll bar across these little sections, the night is almost over no matter what I'm on. However, I'm going to leave it on nothing wrong right here. Let's toggle this button. It is before 10 p.m. now, and nothing is wrong, but it's busy now. It's going to be a long night. Short staffed, it's going to be a long night, and the kitchen is dragging. It is going to be a long night, and each one of those goes along with the little needle that's pointing on it right there. All right, and that toggle button is just a simple Boolean true or false toggle, so not a whole lot going there. I'll show you what's going on in the background. So let's go ahead and close this window, have a look at the code. I'll tell you the bits that I stole from the scroll bar GUI example. So that part is just declaring the scroll bar variable HS1. This is the loading the image for that little needle. It's like a chevron icon, and then the background of Lake Eola. And then this is my time button Boolean value. So I have it default set to false. And these are all my text integers. I had them as relational values, but as I kept changing the screen resolution and all that, it got kind of wacky. So I just sort of settled on some explicit values here. The setup is just standard screen size, no stroke, font types. This is the scroll bar location. This is loading the images of the little chevron I whipped up in Photoshop and a picture of Lake Eola. These are the divider lines that are set at 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. This is the float variable. So this is the position of that little chevron picture, that little needle. It changes with, I think, up to like 4 significant digits after the decimal point. So it has to be a float, and it sort of is relational to the width of the screen. Then this is a cool little thing called tint. Anytime you have an image, you can adjust the properties in right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll make it bigger. But tint applies transparency without changing the color. So the, let's refresh that. So this tint right here for the background image, so it doesn't get in the way. And then on top of that, since processing is super explicit, I had to retint because otherwise it would have applied the same tint to my other image of that little needle, which I wanted completely solid. These are just updates for the scroll bar. This is the rectangle for the button. This is all the text that is displayed at the bottom. And then here's my if logic. So if the time button is false, then the night is almost over, and it must be after 10 p.m. So I have the text right there. Otherwise, it is before 10 p.m. And if that little needle is less than or equal to this explicit value of -326, I chose those explicit values because I'll show you in a minute that that scroll bar implements some wacky stuff. So I couldn't use relational values there. So -326 is what I got for that first one. Then it has the text to display. Next, if the needle is less than -7 or greater than -326, it's going to be that second section. If it's greater than -7 or less than 313, it's going to be that third section. Or if it's greater than 313, it'll be that fourth section. This is the scroll track, I think. I don't know, I didn't write that. This is the button logic that I used for the time button. So if the mouse is pressed and the x coordinate is between 25 and 75, and the y coordinate is between 25 and 75, then change the time button Boolean variable to the opposite. So basically, I love this little expression. It says, whatever the time button is now, if it's false, make it true. If it's true, make it false. It's a pretty cool expression. All right, this I wrote none of this. This is all from the scroll bar example. This whole giant block of text. I had to edit some of it and customize it to make it work for this project. But it's got some wacky values, like that mouse over event. If you see when you mouse over, it like does a color change on every text for some reason. I don't know. I didn't really spend the time to figure that out, but it's probably this over event right here, or this Boolean over event right here, but whatever. So the I think it's probably this right here, this fill stuff. So this is the display. I have a feeling if over and locked, then you change the color of the thing. So that's probably what I needed to edit, but I'm not going to. And then once again, this is the get position value for that scroll bar. That scroll bar is pretty cool. It you can like let go of it and it'll still move, so you don't have to hold it down the whole time. So I can sort of just fling it over to the other side of the screen and it'll make it there. So let's see what that looks like with all the values. So I'm just gonna fling it over there, and there it goes. It's pretty cool. All right, that's it. See ya.